Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's been a very weird week for me. I had some quite crap news about a friend, and I don't know, I think just lockdown is just kind of getting to me. And don't get me wrong, I've got a lot to be grateful for right now. It's just I think things can be a little bit rough sometimes. So yeah, forgive me if I'm not like bubbly. I'll try and be bubbly. Yeah. So today I wanted to go through my much long-awaited, much promised Hoya collection video, and I have collected my Hoya all around me, and I'm looking at them now and thinking, oh my god, I did not know I had so many friggin' Hoyas. I mean, that's good, obviously, and I've obviously been looking after them, but they've all been around the house, like in different places, so I haven't really clocked that I've got that many, if that makes any sense at all. So I am just going to try and go through these briefly because I think there's enough here that if I went into lots of detail about each and every single one, then I think we'd be here for hours. So I am just gonna like breeze through them and try and remember all their names, because that is one thing I'm not great at, is remembering all of the Hoya names, because there are so many in the Hoya genus. So we're gonna jump straight into it with the first one, which I really struggled to remember how to say. So I'm going to do it while I can remember. I think I can remember. This is the lovely Hoya adenuensis. I will be putting the name on the screen because I cannot remember. But it's a lovely lime green Hoya with beautiful little ruffled leaves. I absolutely love this this Hoya. It's really, really cute, and it seems to be growing well. Some of you may remember this from a previous Hoya haul, which I did from Chrysalis Plants on Etsy, and I will link that there. I really, really need to remember which side it is. I'm sure it's that side. So yeah, that is the lovely enduensis. Oh god, I cannot remember. If anyone has any tips on how to pronounce that, please tell me in the comments. But this one's really cute. He's not grown any new leaves, but he seems to be rooting okay, which is good. And I keep a lot of these my little Hoya cuttings I keep on a heat mat in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. So at some stage in the future I will show you that kind of setup and explain how it works for me. Anyway, let's move on. Since I have started on the small ones, I think I'm gonna carry on with the little cuttings. As you can see, there are quite a few. The first one we've got here is Hoya Matilde, and this has got some little splashes. This is a really cute little cutting. Again, you might remember this from, actually, I don't know if I did put this on a video, but he's a really cute little one. I can't wait for him to grow. That little bit there is just where it's died off. Often they will die off like beyond the leaf node when you take a cutting of them, but hopefully he will do all well. He seems to have rooted well, and yeah, really excited by that one. I really, really like him. So that is, yeah, Hoya Matilde. Then we've got a much coveted one. I'm dropping perlite everywhere. This is a, oh god, this is a, are you just doing that like every time I try and speak? Right, this is a Hoya variegata, which is still, oh my god, it's still dropping a lot of perlite, but hopefully you can see he's got some slightly distorted leaves here growing. These have grown since I've got him. Again, you might remember this from a previous haul. He's grown these two new lovely leaves. I think they are slightly distorted, so I think I need to have a look at kind of my light situation. But yeah, he's doing really, really well, and seems to have rooted well and everything. So I'm really, really chuffed with this one. I love it, and highly recommend this. And to be honest with you, this is one of the easier Hoyas that I've had. Wow, it is going everywhere. I probably should have watered this beforehand so it didn't fall out everywhere. This is probably one of my easier Hoyas, surprisingly, for a variegated plant, but yeah, if you can get hold of one, then definitely recommend this one. What's next? Okay, this is the Hoya caudata sumatra, or is it the other way around? Sumatra caudata, it's one of the two. Anyway, I think I hauled this in a previous video as well. This one seems to be doing well. He's just put out a little bit of new growth here. It's not a leaf or anything, it's just an end. I don't know if you can actually see that. Yeah, there you go, it's that little bit on the end there. But yeah, he seems to be doing really well, so I am really chuffed with this one. This was a wishlist plant for me for a long time, so I am very happy that he seems to be doing very well for me. And if you, I think a lot of these Hoyas do sunblush if you kind of put them in direct sunlight. I think this one does. I think it goes kind of like a dark grey or something. But yeah, maybe that's something for a later date when he's a bit more happy. This little fella is really kicking off. This is the lovely little Hoya serpens, which I think is just so cute. He's like really fuzzy, and yeah, I think you call it I think when a plant's leaves are fuzzy, I think you call it pubescent. I think. I might be making that up. But yeah, he is so cute. Again, a really easy plant. Hopefully you can see he has got a little a couple of shoots coming out here, as you can see. If you do remember this in a previous video, it was literally just this little bit here and this little bit here was the original cutting, so he has definitely enjoyed being part of my Hoya collection. So yeah, this is the little Hoya serpens. Absolutely love this one, and I'm really chuffed that it's doing well. Really happy with that. Then we've got the Hoya Thomsonii. This was another sort of semi-recent one from late last year, and this is the one that's kind of got the really fuzzy leaves, and I'm hoping that this one's doing all right. He's still green, he still looks like he's doing okay. I just know that it can be a little bit of a fussy one, so I am keeping my fingers crossed that we will see some new growth soon. But that is the Hoya Thomsonii. They're a little bit hard to find these days, so you kind of really have to keep your eye out on eBay and Etsy and all sorts in order to get hold of one. But yeah, lovely little plant. Right, this one is Hoya CV Sunrise. When he came to me, actually, he was quite sunblushed. Did I separate it out? No, I think originally I separated this out into two cuttings, as I had two cuttings, but I decided to plant them up together. When he came to me, he was very sunblushed. He'd obviously been in the sun, which you actually can't see any evidence of anymore, because I've been keeping him under a grow light, but not near to the light. So he's reverted is not the right word. He's just kind of got rid of that sun stress. So he was very pink when I first got him, but now he's very green. But if I was to put him back in the sun, he probably would go back to very pink again. So yeah, this is an absolutely gorgeous one. Definitely one to look up on Google or Instagram if you like sunblush plants, because this one is absolutely stunning when he's sunblushed, and I think I probably will stick him in the sun. I know that people have kind of funny feelings about people sunblushing their plants on purpose, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think it just looks so pretty. Then we have got a Hoya Rosita, otherwise known as, like, I think he's known as like the string of beans Hoya or something. But he's really pretty. I had a little bit of a struggle with this one. I think I lost like a full branch of it, but he seems to be bouncing back. I think I can see a tiny little bit of new growth down there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but he seems to be doing pretty well, to be fair. And yeah, happy with this one. I really can't wait to see him grow because he is beautiful. Yeah, I'm really glad that he's kind of bounced back, because I was a little bit stressed for a while when he was not doing so well. But yeah, he's really cool. Really love that one. Often you will find, I think there's a bit of a confusion over whether Waitii and Kentiana are the same Hoya. I think Kentiana is darker, but I don't know. So yeah, I have no idea. If anyone knows, please do let me know, because the Kentiana is also gorgeous, but very similar looking. Then we have got a little cutting of Hoya lacunosa. Actually, I think this is 2 cuttings from memory. This one has rooted well, but isn't showing any new signs of growth. Again, it's in the same situation as all the others, so it's really interesting to see how some of them grow better than others, particularly when they're all of a small cutting size. But yeah, so he is surviving well, but not doing much at the moment. So I hope to see a bit of new growth on this in the spring when it gets a little bit warmer, in the kind of the ambient atmosphere, despite the grow mat that I have him on. Then we've got a Hoya polyneura cutting. This lovely fella was from the lovely Lois at Twisted Leaf and Vine, who has an online shop. And this one has, I think he's grown 2 leaves. No, so he did grow 2 leaves since I had him, but I think I forgot to water him twice. And you can see it's kind of shriveled off and died there. And I don't know, I think I possibly need to inspect the roots on this, because he's feeling very floppy and like he hasn't been watered, but the soil is moist. So I think I need to have a bit of a investigation on this one, because he should be a little bit more, I don't know if you can see, that's like a very flimsy leaf. He should be a bit more waxy, I guess, like a Hoya. So yeah, but that is my Hoya polyneura. Hoya polyneura, aka the fishtail Hoya, which is absolutely gorgeous. And if I bring him a bit closer, you can probably see why I think he's so pretty, with these lovely, lovely leaf veins, especially if you have like the light behind it. I can't really easily show you, but if you have the light behind this Hoya, he is absolutely gorgeous. Then I have a Hoya finlaysonii. This is a really gorgeous cultivar. I actually bought this by accident by bidding on eBay, as with my Calistophylla, which I'll show you in a minute. But yeah, I kind of got a little bit overzealous with my eBay bidding and accidentally won, which, you know, is never a terrible thing. But he seems to be adjusting well. We've got a little bit of growth here. So yeah, very, very happy with this one. And I just love this leaf pattern that you can see. And again, this is a really gorgeous one if you can get the light behind him. I don't know, yeah, it's not going to show you on camera, but he is an absolutely gorgeous Hoya. Very, very happy to have this beautiful fella. I think, from memory, I think I paid £35 for this cutting, which is probably a little bit more than the going price for a 2-leaf cutting, or I guess it's kind of like a 3-leaf, but this one's a bit deformed. So in future, I probably wouldn't spend much more. I wouldn't spend more than £30. I probably wouldn't spend more than 25, just as a guideline. But I guess it depends on like at what point you're seeing this video. But yeah, as of right now, I wouldn't spend more than that. As I said, I kind of got a little bit carried away with my eBay bidding. Oh God, creating chaos here. Then we have this beautiful fella. This is my beautiful Hoya curtisii. Yeah, I think people often call this the curtsii, but it's actually curtisii. And I just love this. It reminds me a bit of the Ceropegia woodii, but with much more fleshy, thick leaves, and it's just so pretty. I just absolutely love this plant. Because it's got these gorgeous splashes all over the leaves. It's got quite a dark leaf, and they're not heart-shaped. They're like a bit like teardrop shaped, but a big fat teardrop, or like raindrop. I don't know. I don't really know, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous plant. Love, love, love this one, and this would definitely be one that I would replace should I lose it. I think I bought this plant for £18, and it hasn't grown a huge deal. Like a few of the stems have grown a little bit since getting it, probably no more than 2 inches each. A couple, well, it's only a couple of them, so it hasn't grown a huge deal. But again, I've only had this since autumn of last year, so it hasn't really had a full spring or summer with me, so we will see what that brings. But yeah, absolutely love this one. Then we have got a slightly struggling Hoya, I can never remember, is this Sigitalis or Sigillatus? But this one is beautiful, and I will be really gutted if he doesn't make it. He's not doing terrible, but he's not doing great either. But this is one that sun blushes absolutely beautifully, and I absolutely love this beautiful, beautiful plant. I'm hoping you can see that well. He's just got these lovely, like, he's quite a pale plant. He goes really, really pink around the edges, particularly in the sun, and he's got these gorgeous splashes all the way over the leaf. So yeah, really, really love this plant, and I cannot wait for it to improve in its growth. Keep going, little buddy, you can do it. Oh, my leg has gone to sleep, and I don't really have any space to stretch it out because of all the Hoyas. Oh. Okay, that kind of, I think that worked. Right. Okay, we'll sit on another one instead. Right, this is my beautiful Hoya macrophylla variegata, which possibly has some mealybug there. I really hope not. It looks like a little bit of fluffy white stuff. Anyway, so this is another beautiful plant. This was a wishlist plant of the lovely Jerry from Planting Memories, and he got a gorgeous plant of this very recently, so definitely go and check him out. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful plant. I think I bought mine for £29, I think it was, but actually I wasn't, on pictures, I wasn't ever convinced about this plant. I just wasn't sure that it was the plant for me, but now that I've got it, I'm just like, this is so pretty, because you've got these beautiful pink leaf margins. I don't know how well I can show you that. Maybe you can see like that, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Maybe you can see a little bit better from the back. But he's got these lovely pink leaf margins around the variegation. Mine one isn't very variegated, I think just because we've been lacking in the sunshine lately, so hopefully we'll get a few more variegated leaves. He is starting to push out a little bit of new growth there, so fingers crossed he is on his way to becoming a fuller plant, and yeah, really excited about this one. I absolutely love it and think it was a wonderful choice by Jerry because I hadn't looked at it before, so yeah, really cool. Okay, here is a special one. I think I've shown you this before. I think it might have been in my top 10 of 2020. I'm not sure actually, I can't remember. This is the Hoya carnosa compacta variegata, so a big old mouthful. This is, yeah, the beautiful curly, twisty, pinky, beautiful, just lovely, lovely, lovely. And I bought mine for £30, I think it was, or it might have been 35, I can't remember, but he's adjusted incredibly well to living with me in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. As you can see, he's doing very, very well, and he's still got a little growth point continuing on here at the end, if you can see that. So he seems to be, touch wood, doing okay, so I really, really want him to continue doing so because he's a beautiful plant and actually quite a special plant as well. So yeah, these are kind of a little bit hard to get hold of. They do pop up every now and again. Often they're very overpriced, so you just kind of have to keep an eye out. What I often do is I set up eBay saved searches, so that I get like notifications on my phone when certain plants are listed under certain search terms, so that kind of helps me to keep an eye out for stuff like this, where they're quite uncommon popping up on eBay. Right, what else? Oh, we've got the lovely Hoya acuta, aka Hoya parasitica, I think, which is the lovely kind of, well, it's meant to be heart-shaped leaves. This one isn't quite a heart shape. We've been going through a little bit of a difficult adjustment period since coming to me. If you did watch the haul video that I got this from Chrysalis Plants, this came as 2 cuttings and the other cutting didn't make it. I don't really know what happened, but it just didn't seem to adjust very well. And this one is certainly having some teething problems. It hasn't grown at all. It appears to be rooted. I think this one came with roots anyway, but there's no real sign of growth or anything like that. So hopefully that will appear in the near future. I actually need to find a nicer pot than this because this is just something to catch the water when I water it. But yeah, so I'm hoping that it will pick up in the spring. But yeah, really cute one. I really, really want this one to do well because I think it's beautiful. I have got a gorgeous Hoya obovata. You might remember when I hauled this, this was just like the peak because this was a wish list plant for me for so long. I'm just going to take it out of its cash pot. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I love these beautiful, thick, matte, beautiful leaves. I'm just a huge fan. So yeah, absolutely love this plant. And he seems to, touch wood, no sign of growth, but he seems to be doing all right. He's certainly drinking water when I water him, I guess, because you can tell with Hoyas often if they need water, their leaves will go very floppy, and then when you water them, they become kind of fat and waxy again. So he's certainly taking up water well, so I think it's just a matter of time before he kind of picks up and starts to show signs of growth. So yeah, always love this one. That was a long time wish list plant of mine. Wow, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to go. Wow, I have a Hoya problem, guys. I wasn't quite aware of how deeply rooted my Hoya problem was, but apparently it is. This is a long-time companion of mine. I think this was either my 2nd or 3rd ever Hoya. This is the gorgeous Hoya australis Lisa. We have been through some shit with this Hoya, let me just tell you. We've had mealybugs, we've had thrips, we've had, what else did we have? Spider mites, we've had all sorts with this poor little Hoya, and it keeps trying to grow and it keeps trying to bounce back. So I'm trying my best to kind of nurture this and help it to grow. It is an absolutely gorgeous plant, and if you take cuttings, it roots really easily. This one just seems to be slightly cursed, but I absolutely love it and I won't give up on it. So don't die on me, dude. Oh, we had root rot as well with this one. So he's been through a lot. This one I think was one of my first ever haul videos that I filmed, and it was from replant.nl back when that shop was open. It was a Dutch plant website that often sold really unusual ones, so this was quite hard to get hold of Hoya back then, and I was so super chuffed to get it, and certainly hadn't kind of got the right experience for looking after my Hoyas just at that point. But yeah, he's definitely been part of my growing process. So you may remember this lovely fella. This is the Hoya calistophylla long form, according to one of my lovely subscribers, and I am so chuffed. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but just under here, just there, we have a little peduncle, and hopefully some flowers growing. So I don't know if I could, how can I make this visible to you? If I just put that against my thumb, maybe. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but there's some flowers growing there and some flowers growing here. So I am really excited I can't wait. There's actually like a good few little points where it's got some peduncle ends, so fingers crossed we will get some flowers in the near future. So I will be sure to update you all when this beautiful plant flowers, because this is my pride and joy and one of my most expensive plants. I think I told you last time it was £75. I think this was another one that I got really carried away on eBay bidding. I didn't fully intend to actually buy it at that price, but it just kind of happened because no one else bid on it at that price. And I'm actually really glad that I have it now, because it is absolutely stunning. Stunning. Right, I am going to try and get through these as quick as possible so you don't get too bored. This is the lovely Hoya variegata, with a dead leaf of some description there. This one is a bit of a finicky one. He has grown a couple of new leaves since I've had him and subsequently dropped the new leaves. As you can see, there's a bit of a ring of water there. I'm not quite sure what's happened. But a really pretty plant. I really want to make this one work. It's certainly a learning curve for this plant. I bought this for, I think it was £16 in Stewart's Garden Centre. So I certainly wouldn't pay any more for a Hoya variegata. I know they go for a lot more online, so just to be aware of that, because they are a very, potentially available plant. But I mean, you do you. I have lost another one of these. I've killed another one of these through root rot. So yeah, this certainly is a learning curve plant for sure. But it's all part of the process. This is a little struggling little fella. I think I need to do something about this. I might need to chop it down and propagate it, because I think that the roots are just shot on this. You can tell that it's not really picking up water anymore. It's really flimsy leaved, and I think I've just left it too long. I think I've underwatered it and now the roots aren't doing their job. But this is a Hoya carnosa tricolour. I get a bit confused with these. This is the Krimson Queen, and I will show you the Krimson Princess right next to it, so you can see that the variegation is opposite on the Krimson Queen, which is this one. The variegation is around the leaf margin, and on the Krimson Princess, which is this one, the variegation is in the middle of the leaf. So yeah, quite a distinctive difference. But yeah, this one not doing great, unfortunately. I think I've just missed too many waterings with it. Does lead me nicely onto the Hoya carnosa tricolour Krimson Princess though, which is actually genuinely like one of my favourite plants. I think there's just so many beautiful variations of this gorgeous variegation on them. This is a really easy to get hold of Hoya. You can usually find it in most garden centres. If they sell Hoyas, they probably sell the Krimson Princess, and it's really easy to look after. Just put it in a bright sunny spot or under a grow light and it will just grow. It will just go crazy, and I absolutely love this. It comes out, like when it grows new leaves, they'll come out really dark pink and then they'll go to this lovely yellow and green combination of colours. So yeah, really beautiful plant, totally underrated. I think it really needs and deserves more love than it gets. Right, this is another kind of casualty of my underwatering. You may be able to see it is actually a Hoya Krinkle 8, which is another Hoya carnosa variety or cultivar. It's so called because it supposedly has 8 little divots in the leaves. My one I have underwatered and now I don't think it's really taking up water as it should be again. So I think again I need to cut this up and propagate it and replant it once the roots are well established, because I don't think it's really taking up water anymore. So yeah, that is a sickly Hoya for you. You can often tell with Hoyas when they have this kind of dull appearance, particularly the Hoya carnosas are very shiny and glossy on their leaves. So when they've become quite dull and wrinkled is another kind of indication, as you can see there. And when they're really like floppy and flimsy, that's when you know that they're not too healthy. But the nice thing is they will often bounce back really well if you try and propagate them. Right, God, I really have too many Hoyas. Then we've got the lovely Hoya linearis, which I wasn't a fan of at all until I saw this sitting in the Kew Orchid Festival. And they had this next to a beautiful pink orchid. I will try and insert a picture here, or you can go and watch the video, but there's just something about that lovely combination that really ticked all my boxes, and now I really like this. Never thought I would like this Hoya, but absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, definitely one to pick up. And it just, I don't know, there's something about the way that it just hangs and looks like all jungly. Like I'm like properly converted. My other leg's going to sleep. I need to find a better like place to film where I'm not going to just sit on my feet anymore. Right, here is a plain Hoya carnosa. So you can kind of see the difference between that and the variegated ones, obviously, by not having variegation. It does still have these splashes, which is really pretty. You will find that people try and sell it for more because it's a Hoya carnosa splash, but that's just what a Hoya carnosa looks like, really. So don't spend extra money for that. Really prolific grower. This one's very happy. I don't do anything special with it. I barely water it. It just thrives. I don't really know how. So this one is a super easy, beautiful Hoya. I think I got this from the Oxford Plant Swap way back when, a couple of years ago now, and it was just a 2-leaf cutting, and it's just thrived since. So it's a really happy Hoya with barely any care. So yeah, definitely recommend this to a beginner for Hoyas. Although strangely, they're not that easy to get hold of. It's much easier to get hold of the variegated version, which is really odd. But there we go. Right, trying to get through this quickly. I am sorry for the length of this video. Although tell me if you like longer videos, because I actually personally like longer videos, but I know not everyone does. Anyway, this is a Hoya pubicalyx. I don't know which variety of pubicalyx this is, but you can see it is very pretty. It has these lovely splashes on the leaves. Again, that is normal. Don't pay more for a pubicalyx splash because, well, unless they're a slightly different cultivar, which I'll show you in a second. But for a bog standard pubicalyx like this, you don't need to spend more for a splash version because they kind of come with the splashes anyway. And what I love about these is they come out with these really beautiful dark, like aubergine color, or eggplant if you're in America, color leaves, and they fade gradually into these lovely green leaves. And overall, it's just a really beautiful plant, grows really well, really easily. Again, with this one, I barely do anything with it. I just leave it in a south-facing window and water it occasionally. And it seems to do really well. So yeah, another really beautiful, easy plant. I actually made this pot too. Well, I didn't make the pot, but I painted this pot, and I really like it. If it's okay that I'm blowing my own trumpet. So yeah, lovely pubicalyx, which I can never say that name. I can never say that name well. Anyway, this is another Hoya pubicalyx. Actually, I've still got the label in it. So it is a pubicalyx silver spots, and this is what I was saying. So this is a different cultivar to the other pubicalyx. If I hold these up next to each other, you will see. They're both a pubicalyx. but the original pubicalyx is much more green with much less splash. This one is actually kind of bred to have a lot of splash on its leaves, and it is really pretty. These go through the garden centres every couple of months, and you'll find a lot of them around, so it's worth just waiting. They're quite cheap. I think I paid £11 for this on this size, and I have taken cuttings and propagations from it since as well, like quite a lot actually, and it's doing really, really well. Really easy plant, and it's just so pretty. Hopefully you can see all of that lovely splashiness. So pretty. And a lot of these leaves actually remind me of like the Hoya Grey Ghost, or the Wilbur Graves, I think it is, like a lot of the splashy beautiful ones. Right, I've got two more. I've got a tiny cutting of my Hoya Krinkle 8. You can probably actually see that a little bit better on this one than the dying one that I showed you. So that is a Hoya Krinkle 8, actually how it's supposed to look with all those divots in there. And that one is just doing fairly well. It hasn't kind of reverted back to the plain undivoted leaf. Here is a Hoya Carnosa compacta, the plain version, the not variegated version. I have underwatered this, so it is looking a little bit worse for wear on this side. It's got a lot of wrinkles and crinkles, but the rest of it's doing pretty well. I really love this plant. It's really cool, really pretty, really weird. It looks a bit like a strange kind of sea creature almost. But yeah, so it is just another cultivar of the Hoya Carnosa. And yeah, where did I put it? Yeah, if I just compare these two, you can see that the growth pattern is exactly the same. It's just one is variegated and one is not variegated. And I think that brings us on to our final one. This one is a bit of a rescue mission. I think this is the Hoya Rosita. I think it might be something else. I actually can't remember the name of it. But this one, you can probably see, is a little bit sickly. It's just a little bit leggy. It's mostly fine. Like the main kind of bulk of the plant is mostly fine. It's just the long trailing bits are not so healthy. They don't really have any leaves on them. This one was from Burford Garden Centre a few months back. It was in the middle of last year, I think. For some reason, they really underwater their Hoyas. And I mean, there's my level of underwatering, okay, which, you know, slowly kills the plant over a year or so, and there's that level of underwatering which is just going to kill it in like a month or two. So when I bought this, it was almost dead. So all I did was I kind of dunked it in a bucket of water and left it for 2 days, and it's really perked up. I know that's a bit of a risk, but it's starting to show little signs of growth coming back. This was £30, which I thought was actually quite a lot, to be honest with you, but it is a very gorgeous Hoya, and now that it's bouncing back, it's doing okay. And I don't think that's a terrible price, but I'm not sure I'd do that again. I'm not sure I'd recommend it either. But yeah, so that is the Hoya Rosita. I don't really know what its name is. I'm gonna have to look that up. And I'll put all the names on the screen. So yeah, that was a long video, my friends. I can tell it's long. I'm looking at the the screen. I have a Hoya problem, and I don't think I realised quite how many Hoya I had. I'm gonna have to count these up now. But yeah, I hope that has kind of fulfilled the long-awaited promise of the Hoya collection video. I haven't put any extra detail in here because I just don't, it's just going to be a huge long video anyway. So if you want to know anything more about any of the Hoyas that you've seen on here, please feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you would like to know. Or maybe if you want to see any of the plants a bit more in depth, then please do let me know. Or if you want to know the history of them, then I'm definitely up for doing a bit of research and finding that out for you guys. Please let me know what your favourite Hoya is and any wish list Hoyas that you have, because it's just something about Hoyas. They're just, wow. I don't know, Hoyas and begonias, they're like my ultimate obsessions in the plant world. So Anyway, without further ado, I am gonna sign off and let you guys go because it's a long video. You know, tell me if you do like that, because I would like to know, but I'm gonna assume that people don't like it to be too long. But you never know. Anyway, I've got to that rambly point where I can't seem to sign off, so I'm going to say thank you very much for watching as always. Thank you always for all your comments. I love to see what you guys have got to say, and I really appreciate you subscribing and liking the video if you enjoyed it. So if you want to, feel free. Thanks as always, guys, and I will see you again next week.